EA Sports FIFA is one of the most successful football and sports franchises in the world. Having released games since 1995, the game has gone on every single year to make billions of dollars. It's clearly successful, yet recently it's come under a lot of flack by its players. So why is FIFA 21 so successful, yet controversial?
No. Been what?
Look at that! How is he? I just can't even do this anymore.
Now, I think the best place for us to start is with me. I have been playing FIFA ever since FIFA 08, and every single year, without a doubt, it is my go-to football game. Yet, over the past couple of years, I found myself every single year telling myself I'm not going to buy the game, and despite the fact that every year I do, I have started to wonder, why is that? Why every year do I find myself being less and less likely to buy the latest instalment of FIFA? I think the best place for us to start is with Kickoff, the base game mode of the game. If you just want to sit down and play a match with your friends, if you just want to chill, have a bit of a wager, and really settle once and for all who is the best player. Now, me and my brother have played Kickoff for years. We have always played as Spurs and Liverpool, always played each other, and for the majority of time, yes, I have lost. Yet more recently I have found myself, when wanting to play the game with him or with friends, going to the other game modes that EA have to offer. And the question I ask myself is, well, why don't I just play Kickoff? It's quick to jump in, jump out, and nowadays more than ever there's such an emphasis put on quick, fast games. Look at Warzone matches last 20 minutes and everyone loves them. Yet, when it comes to FIFA, Kickoff is rarely talked about. And I think the main reason for that, above everything else, is the gameplay. Now, I'm not going to go ranting as most people do. However, I do have to admit, over the past couple of years, gameplay in FIFA has deteriorated to a point where it just simply put is not fun anymore. Back in the day, FIFA was known for a fast, fluid game where attacks would basically go from one side of the pitch to the other, and then back again, and then back again, until someone scored, and then it would just repeat. However, nowadays, and more prevalently in FIFA 21, much to people's request, I will admit, there's such an emphasis on possession gameplay. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Oh, none of us asked for this, Sam. What are you on about? Now, I do hear you, however, there was a time, and you may not believe this, that people were starting to flock to PES because of how poor the FIFA gameplay was. And looking back on it, we were all being a bit stupid. But everyone wanted a slower, more precise, more realistic game in FIFA. not to a point of stupidity, but FIFA always sold itself as a simulation, just like PES has. And I think that's where the biggest problem nowadays with FIFA comes. The gameplay just is not fun anymore. And I understand that it's football and there's only so much you can do with it, and that the smallest tweaks can completely change the way the game is played, but they truly have fucked it up. And I believe that to be the reason why FIFA is such a mess. Now, I want to paint a scene for you. You come home, it's Friday night, your girlfriend wants your attention, but you're like, hell no. I've got the boys, we're playing games, leave me alone. You get a beer, you get your Mountain Dew, you get your Doritos, you come, you sit down on your sofa or your gaming chair, turn on your console of choice, or if for some reason you're on PC, in which case you can leave right now. That's who you included, Charlie. My brother does it, and I don't know what's wrong with him. You and your friends choose the game to play tonight. It's FIFA. And you all know what game mode you're going to be playing. That's right. It's Pro Clubs. The premier cooperative football experience with your friends. And before you say, oh Sam, Pro Club's been dead for years, what are you talking about Pro Clubs? Look at YouTube, look at the Sidemen. There is still popularity in this game mode. People enjoy this game mode for just being able to chill out, have fun, and mess about. And EA have failed the players in that regard. We all want stadium creators, professional and in-depth kit creators. We want to be able to put stupid sponsors on our kits. And I know that the game's for kids, and I know there's probably some grey areas, but come on EA, just let us do whatever we want. The whole point of Pro Clubs is just it's not Pro Clubs, it's like just clubs. Everyone calls it clubs for a reason, because no one's professional about it. There was a time when this mode was bigger than Ultimate Team, and I know that's hard to believe, but it was. And with this mode, the biggest problem above anything else is it's just been forgotten about by EA. And they're really missing out, because if they put the amount of time, effort and money into Pro Clubs as they did to Ultimate Team, that it could genuinely be bigger than Ultimate Team. Because the one thing everyone loves above anything else when it comes to gaming is being able to play with your friends. And as I'll go into later, you can tell that they've tried to force it into other monetized modes. And if I'm being honest with you, you could monetize Pro Clubs. And I know you're like, what Sam, you're a gamer, you shouldn't be telling them to monetize it. But if they just put in things like celebrations for 50p, or wacky kits like you can dress up as clowns for £1, people would be more than happy to buy that. And if you were constantly releasing content on Pro Clubs, it would give people reasons to log into it every day. And I know that I shouldn't be suggesting ideas for EA, and the whole point of this is to critically analyse the game. It's such an obvious thing that's staring EA in the face, and it has been for years. And I'm sorry, but I just don't think it's ever going to get resolved or fixed or addressed, because we all know what the main money maker is for EA, and we all know the mode that they only really care about. From one depressive game mode to another, let's head straight into career mode. I'm telling you right now, as a kid, I loved this. I loved this mode more than anything else in the whole world. I can tell you that much for free. I remember in FIFA 11, back in the day, Spurs career mode signing Fernando Llorente from Juventus. Was it Juventus? Oh, I can't even remember now. And he was just the best striker. Or in FIFA 13, there was a random youth striker in my team called Harry Kane. Because all my strikers were injured, and Soldado had not yet signed for the mighty Spurs, I decided to develop him, and he became like an 82 rated striker, which I know nowadays, when you look at all the crazy stuff you can do in career mode, isn't that good. But at the time, being able to just get a good young player that no one had ever heard of, and being able to develop him and turn him into a superstar that was banging in 10 goals a season in the FA Cup, 10 goals a season in the Champions League, 20 goals a season in the Prem. And then watching it happen in real life, I kid you not, that's where the true joy of career mode comes from. Just looking at players you've never heard of before. And I feel like EA, they've just lost their way. When you look at what Sports Interactive are doing with Football Manager and just allowing true control of a club, being able to expand your stadium, decide what staff your club has, being able to arrange friendlies of your own. Fans have been asking for it for years, and just like with pro clubs, I think we're all just resigned to the fact now it's never going to happen. Especially when EA remove features such as being able to drop in whilst you're simming a match and then relabeling it 5 years later as a brand new feature. And then when all the content creators and fans go crazy for it, just proves the point that EA, they really do have us tied around their tight little finger in terms of content and just making us squeeze every last drop out of them. And if I'm being honest with you, it's just so depressing, because the modes that used to be what revolutionised FIFA and made FIFA so great and made everyone swap from PES 06 to FIFA 07 and 08 and 09 was the emphasis on couch co-op, single player modes, and modes where you were able to play with your friends. And in the past 10 years, that's just been completely lost by EA. Going from depressing game modes that just have been completely forgotten about by Electronic Arts, let's head to a brand new one that fans have been begging for years. Volta. Volta was released in FIFA 20 by EA to resounding success. Oh wait, no, sorry. To resounding just nothingness, to be honest. There was no reception to it, no players playing it, it was just dead on arrival. Which, when you consider it was a mode that's been requested by for fans since FIFA Street released in 2010, 2013, sometime around then, what went wrong? Let's dive into it. By far, the biggest problem was the fact that there was no proper form of co-op. Yay. The reason why everyone loved FIFA Street, all of them, was the fact you could create a five-a-side team with your friends, you could take it online and play against other people that were doing the exact same thing. And just like how you butchered pro clubs, you've made your game less accessible. You've made it less successful than it could be by adding a simple feature that does not hurt you at all. And as I stated before, the reason for EA doing this is not because it's hard for them to, and not even necessarily because they don't want to. It's because they know they can make more money from you elsewhere. Now, don't get me wrong for a single second. When I criticise EA and their handling of the game modes and the game as a whole. I don't blame the developers. Now, granted, there are probably a few rotten eggs in there. However, it's clear, as with many EA titles, look at Battlefront 2 for example, started off as a mess, EA left it to DICE to sort out, and it's turned out to be a very, very popular and successful title. But it's clear, however, it's clear that the executives at the top of the hierarchy of EA, whether it's Andrew Wilson or someone below him, have a large interest in monetizing every single one of the products that they release. The loot box controversy with Battlefront 2 and Ultimate Team are probably the most egregious examples of it. Hell, as far as I'm aware, Madden's Ultimate Team is just as bad, if not worse. Just look at what Angry Joe has to say about it. Somehow, ignoring Volta, ignoring pro clubs, and the good ideas behind them, there's an example of EA's greed that is far more egregious than anything I have ever seen in the industry, let alone this game. FIFA 21 Legacy Edition. I'm going to try and stay calm whilst I talk about this. FIFA 21 Legacy Edition is the Switch port or equivalent for FIFA. Every console gets the exact same version of FIFA, yet for some reason Nintendo Switch users have to suffer with the pile of crap that is FIFA 21 Legacy Edition. Now, before anyone in the comments goes, "Oh Sam, it's £45 at release, it's £15 cheaper than normal," IGN called this out. If IGN are calling you out, you know you're doing something wrong. The reviewer, Simon Cardy, was so outraged, just like most people really, by what EA had done. He copy and pasted his review from the FIFA 20 Legacy Edition review. Now you might be wondering, hey Sam, why would someone copy and paste a review for a different game? Because that is exactly what EA did. That's why. EA copied FIFA 20, changed the kits, updated the teams, and re-released it for £45, claiming the game had the same gameplay innovations as FIFA 20 Legacy Edition. However, this wouldn't be that bad of a problem, yet FIFA 20 did the exact same thing from FIFA 19 Legacy Edition, so effectively you're playing FIFA 19 just with the new kits, the new player rosters, and Volta. They're the only benefits you get from buying this game for £45. Even looking at EA's rivals Konami and opposition in PES, yes, they did the same thing this year for the full release of PES. They released PES 21 Legacy Edition, but they charged £20 on console, and you got a discount if you pre-ordered it. So I got my version for £19 for PES for the year, and that's on console. EA are trying to charge you £45 on Switch. I kid you not, within a week of it being out, it was on sale £15 off, because they knew it was that overpriced. I genuinely have never seen greed to such a level in the gaming industry. It's unacceptable, and I swear to God, EA, if it happens again, I'm coming for you myself. Before I forget, Seasons is here, but just as every other year, it's relatively unchanged, so I'm just going to skip over it. Other things that have been unchanged for years now include the women's mode. Now yes, I know women's football is nowhere near as popular as men's, but the fact you can't even play as any of the club teams and only the national teams. EA, they've been in the game for about 3 years now. Your whole motto is EA Sports. It's in the game, except the women are not in the game. Please, I know you're not big for innovating, but please just try next year. Please, you still also have the odd side things to do, such as skill games in the practice arena. However, they're also pretty much unchanged for years now, and if they're not going to change it, I'm not going to bother speaking about it, because honestly, I could go on forever. It's just pathetic at this point. Speaking of greed from before though, let's go on to everyone's favourite game mode, FIFA Ultimate Team, or FUT as it's commonly referred to. I just want to start off with just a nice little point, I suppose. Belgium have had to introduce loot box laws purely because of how predatory FIFA is with its Ultimate Team packs and points system. The United Kingdom's government have been debating in Parliament for months now about this, and other countries are following in the same foot. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of years FIFA points and packs are either banned or completely reformed in some way or another, because people are starting to cotton on to what EA are doing. I think I would be in the majority if I spoke for most of you and said, if EA released cards such as Messi or Ronaldo as a special card and just charged £3-4 to get him guaranteed, or say a Barcelona pack of Barcelona special cards like they do in PES, no one would have an issue with it, because when you buy a pack you at least have a very good idea as to what you're paying for. Now, yes, when you buy a pack in FIFA you know you're going to get however many cards, however many rare, but you could genuinely, and I'm speaking from personal history here, in events in the game where you are likely to get special cards such as Team of the Season or Team of the Year, you could splash hundreds of pounds and get absolutely nothing. And that is bearing in mind that this is a game where even if you did pack someone, let's say Team of the Year or Team of the Season Messi, even if I was to back a player such as Team of the Year Messi or Team of the Season Harry Kane, by the time FIFA 21 has ended and FIFA 22 comes out, he is still a digital good, which now has next to no value. The only people who benefit from putting money into this game are content creators who make money back out of it, because you could throw hundreds of pounds into this game on top of the 60, 80 or nearly £100 you pay for one of the editions of the game, whether that's the standard, champions or ultimate edition, and by the time the game is over you will likely never use those cards again. Even if, and this is a big if, even if the game went free to play, PES does with its My Club or Fortnite or Warzone, this would still be by far the most exploitative and egregious practice of loot boxes, packs or the like in video games. And you then need to remember that this is a game that's labelled free and up, so you could have children of any ages, or adults for that matter, playing this game. And when you look at it and you have all the flashy cars that are constantly being promoted and all the ways that you're easily able to get to the store, compared to everything else in the game, which you have to go through about 2 menus to get to. It's not hard to see or imagine in the slightest kids going onto this game and spending thousands upon thousands of their parents' cash, because it's happened before and it will continue to happen. EA have been and need to be continually called out for this, as it is just simply insulting to the consumer. Let's actually get away from all that fun stuff and head into the reasons why people actually like and get engrossed in Ultimate Team. The main culprit for everyone's time being wasted is FUT Champions. Now, FUT Champions is the most competitive mode that FIFA has to offer, in which everyone in the world can participate. Playable over the weekend, players have 30 matches in which they need to win as many as possible to rank higher on the leaderboards, and, if they're lucky enough, get in the top 100. And the whole point for this is just to get better rewards to help improve their team. Doing this also helps to increase their standings within other game modes, such as Division Rivals, which is just the casual game mode where you're able to go online and play against other players. This replaced the old and popular mode Seasons, in which you'll have likely seen famous YouTubers such as KSI and his race to Division 1. Many people still want that game mode back, however I feel that Division Rivals is a perfect replacement for it, as it still includes tiers that you're able to climb through, yet rewards the players better for the amount of time and effort they put into their game. Rewards are handed out on a Thursday morning to all players, allowing them to improve their team just in time to play Weekend League. Can you see how this game can get quite repetitive, but also very, very, very addictive? Now, a fun little life story you'll probably never want to hear about me, but I'm going to tell it anyway. At university, during my first year, I non-stop, because I had next to nothing to do because of COVID, would wake up on a Friday morning, play half my FUT Champs games, probably fall asleep, wake back up if I wanted to play FUT Champs, if not, wait till a later point in the weekend to play it. Then when I was done, on a Monday morning, I would do the objectives that the game has in Div Rivals. I would do the in-game objectives in Div Rivals. Then wait for my rewards on Thursday, get the best players possible from those hopefully, and then prepare my team for Friday, where I would do it all over again. And I did that pretty much all year straight, and I packed no one good for a bit. My best red pick reward was probably Dybala, so if that doesn't say a lot, I don't know what does, considering I played the game all year and finished pretty much gold free consistently every single week, which I know isn't good, but still better than most people. Ultimate Team also offers a more casual game mode for people that don't want to go online, called Squad Battles, which just allows them to play offline against the AI. However, many people can agree that this can become quite a repetitive game mode, especially when you consider a lot of objectives require you to play it even if you don't want to. Newer additions to the game mode include FUT Co-op, which I'm pretty sure absolutely no one plays, so we're just going to skip over that. It was a great idea, but you've implemented it so poorly, EA, that co-op, which as I said before was something that everyone wants in FIFA, is not being played because it's just hidden away and not really worth playing. If I'm being totally honest with you, it's more fun to either couch co-op or just play by yourself because none of the objectives require it. The other of the newer additions to Ultimate Team is FUT Friendlies, which in short I would say amongst the community has been a pretty successful addition. EA have released a lot of objectives revolved around friendlies, which is by far the most casual online mode. It doesn't offer out any rewards to players, however there are good incentives for playing it, as objective cards are traditionally revolved around this game mode and completing feats within it in order to unlock increased and upgraded cards. The final of the newest additions within recent years is the ability for players to customise their own stadium, and in honesty I don't see why EA can't add this to career mode. It's probably a licensing issue. However, if you could somehow get your way around that, EA, that would be much appreciated, because it genuinely is a really good addition to Ultimate Team. Now, if you haven't already gathered, yeah, EA have actually added some really good things recently to Ultimate Team. And now, the critic, the cynical side of me would say that it's purely down to the fact that Ultimate Team is by far the biggest money maker. It makes about 4 billion every single year for EA alone. So of course they would want to add new things every single day, such as objectives, or new additions such as the Stadium Creator, in order to bring players back and playing the game every single day. However, the other side of me argues that the mode is by far the most successful and most played, most watched on the internet. So of course EA would add more to that, as it obviously is the most successful. If I'm being truly honest, I would side more towards the cynical side of me, as EA tend to release the best cards in the game through packs, still releasing good cards for objectives, but locking the premium cards, for example Messi, behind packs which you can only pay for unless if you somehow acquire a ridiculous amount of coins, about 20 games worth, for just one premium gold pack, of which the chances of packing a Messi is next to none. One thing, however, in Ultimate Team is by far and away successful without any downsides in my opinion. Squad building challenges, or SBCs as they're commonly known in the community, are challenges in which players are able to submit squads of players of a certain rating or chemistry in exchange for a card, coins or packs. These were introduced about 4 years ago, and yes, though things such as League SBCs over the past couple of years have got increasingly worse, and the rewards for them are, let's just say, a lot worse than they used to be. You used to be able to get De Bruyne and Kane, and now you just get a pack for completing it. It isn't as rewarding. However, EA on a daily basis adds something to this tile in order to bring players back every single day. As my cynical side would argue, yes, this is probably just to get players to come back and buy more packs. However, the majority of the time these SPCs are good value and not too tricky, so that may not entirely be the case here. So, what's next for FIFA? What do I see happening to the game? I would love more than anything for EA to remove all the microtransactions, add the features that we've wanted to career mode and pro clubs, but I just don't see it happening, guys. And if I'm being totally honest with you, I can just see content being cut and cut, as EA have been doing for the past couple of years for time to come, and then just slowly reintroduced as new features in years to come. On a gameplay standpoint, I can see it getting better, and just slightly fine-tuned things over the course of a year can change the way that the game plays drastically. I do remember when the game first came out, everyone loved the gameplay, then EA always seemed to make one small patch that just destroys everyone's fun and seems to aim the game more towards the MLG market than it does for the casual player. The competition in PES looks like it's not going to compete on the front that EA does anytime soon. The only way I see it happening is if PES somehow are able to regain any of the licenses that it once had. Having lost the Champions League and Europa League to FIFA, I think that that's just the nail in the coffin for now. But you never know. There have been bigger resurrections than this one. All in all, FIFA is just not the game that it once was. A game that was once held in such high regard by millions across the world is now slowly losing its reputation as the premier sports game. If I'm being honest with you guys, I just wish more than anything that it could come back to its former glory. However, I just don't see it happening. And PES isn't getting any better anytime soon either, so we might just have to be stuck with whatever crap EA releases every year for the time being. Anyway guys, that's it from me for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I put a lot of effort into this, and you guys genuinely have been the main motivation for me to do this. Thank you so much to everyone that left a comment on the Q&A, because genuinely, without you doing that, I don't know if I would have gone ahead with this. So to you guys, thank you so much. I don't know if you can tell, but my throat is starting to go. I've been talking for like 4 hours non-stop, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to click subscribe and turn on the notifications. That way you'll be told every single time that I go live or that I upload a video. Make sure, if you also enjoyed the video, to give it a like, and if you didn't, you can dislike it. Just go for it. And if you want to leave a comment down below, don't be afraid. I normally reply to all of them, unless if they're horrible, then I'll block you. If you have any suggestions or ideas of what type of content like this you would like to see me do next, any games or anything like that, or just any ways to help me improve the channel, I would genuinely appreciate anything. So if you have some time, make sure to do that also. I've been Dr. Kid One. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.